Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're gonna talk about money and what you need to know about spending, saving, and investing. Now the reason I think it's important to start these discussions early is knowing how to properly take care of your finances is a habit, and good habits take time to develop. So if you start early, you might just know what to do with your money by the time you finish college. Another reason is my parents never taught me how to save or what investing really is. So I think we just need to figure it out for ourselves. And the earlier we do it, the better we'll get at it. Another thing I've noticed is that many young adults, once they reach the real world, they get bombarded with things like need to pay rent and boom, gas is so expensive, and they just get flustered with all of these things that they didn't really need to get flustered with if they just really knew a few basic concepts about spending, saving, and investing. Now, I do understand that some jobs don't really pay enough, and it is a real issue when you don't make enough money, but most of the times, most of our problems come from our poor spending habits and prioritizing things that shouldn't really be a priority at this point. And also the generation before us, like our parents, our grandparents, they're really kind of clueless as well. Like in most families, parents don't talk to their kids about money. They can't even talk to each other about money. Another thing you see very often is, for example, if you see people who work in public institutions, once they're close to their retiring age, you see some of them trying to, not retire because they weren't prepared for retirement. They didn't make a saving plan when they started gaining some kind of income, so they're not prepared. They think, oh, how am I going to provide for my family? Retirement doesn't provide enough money and stuff like that. So it's important that we know these things as early as we can so we can retire by 40. So when talking about spending, saving, and investing, here are the basic concepts you have to grasp. First, spending refers to your needs and your wants. Needs are basically things we can't survive without. For example, food and shelter, which would be like rent money, and transportation, which would be gas if you have a car, or bus money, or taxi money, or whatever you call it. And wants would be, for example, going out with your friends and eating out once in a while, or buying that really cute pair of shoes. A little side note, when talking about needs, there are some needs that are occasional, and you do need to keep those in mind. And occasional needs would be the ones that don't come around every month, but for example, if you have a medical condition and you have like pills you take and you don't have to buy them every month, but every 2 or 3 months. I know I take supplements, so every like two months I have to restock on my supplements, and most people tend to forget to include that when they're making a spending plan and things like that. So, number two would be saving. Saving is basically preparing for the unexpected. Now, saving has like two components to it. One, which is an emergency fund component, which would be for situations like you suddenly lose your job and you have a little something to get you by until you find the next one, or your car breaks down and you need to repair it, or you suddenly get sick and you have some money to go to the hospital with. So that would be the emergency fund component to it. And it also has a treat/goals component, which would be, you might be saving up for a trip you want to make, or a car you want to buy, a house, or just preparing for the future in general, for retirement like I was talking about earlier, and things like that. So that would be savings. And last but not least, investment. And investments are basically money that works for you. Now, investment doesn't necessarily mean you need to go out to Apple or Mozilla or whatever to buy stock actions. That's not necessarily it, especially when you're at a young age and you really don't know what it is to invest or what it takes to invest, or you don't have the initial capital to invest. But it is a component of investing. The way I like to define investing is see it as investing in myself. Now, most of us have side hustles or skills that we could profit out of. For example, if you're somebody who knows how to braid hair, you might braid hair on the side while you're making it through college. If you're a graphic designer, you might, do freelance design work for people who ask you for freelance design work. Or you might be a t-shirt designer and you make t-shirts and you sell them. And those are side hustles. Those are things that could generate profit for you. But the thing most people don't forget to see is these things, they need a basic capital to begin with. For example, if you're gonna braid hair, you need to have, like the extension hair or whatever. If you weave, you might want to provide your clients with your own weaving hair and your own weave and hair products and combs and things like that. If you're a graphic designer, you need to find places where they print, and like those places cost money, and blank t-shirts cost money. If you're, for example, a graphic designer, you might need to buy software, or you might need to buy books and things that teach you how to perfect your skill. So you need a basic fund for that. And most people just skip out on doing these things because they're like, oh, I need somebody else to invest money in me. But like, why not prepare an investment fund for yourself right now? And that's how I like to see my investments. When I get that fund kind of going and I'm more savvy at spending my money, I will definitely start buying stock options, because we're trying to get paid. So, and basically that's it for this video. We'll get into actual spending and budgeting in the next video. I'll show you a few budgeting plans that I've used throughout my research, and yeah, I'll give you some extra tips on what you can do to develop your savings and your investment account. But for now, I will leave you with 3 suggestions of things you can do to get you on the right path with your money and starting to understand each of these 3 components better: saving, spending, and investing. For learning about your spending, I would suggest that you, for a week or 2 or a month if you can, carry around with you a little notebook. Something small that can fit in your pocket, and just jot down everything you buy and how much it costs. Yes, everything. Even if you buy gum off the side of the road, or you just buy gas at the middle of the month, apart from the gas you put in the beginning of the month that you thought would last you the whole month, just jot everything down. And after the time period, like a week, 2 weeks, or a month, you sit down with your notebook and go through everything you bought and mark off what were needs, things you couldn't survive without, and what were wants. And I'm telling you now, you will be surprised at how you're spending your money. Try it, and this will help you understand how you're spending your money. Tip number 2 would be write down some of the long-term, short-term goals, or like a trip, or things like that. Like things that you really want to do. Like, for example, I really want to buy this full leather jacket and a couple of books that my bookshelf is missing. So things like that, you write them down, and this will help you, give you a purpose for saving your money, because most people cannot save their money if they don't have a purpose for it. So this is a good one for that. And last but not least, I want you to write down your skills that you could profit from. Or if you already have a side hustle, like write down what your side hustle is, and write down what you need to get that side hustle going. If you don't have a side hustle but you have a skill, what would you need to actually profit from it? And this will help you see a purpose for having an investment fund. Yeah, that's it for this video. Read the description box for more information on the music playing and where to find me on the interwebs, and keep up with the blog as well. There will be a blog post along with this video. And yeah, if you have any comments, suggestions, questions, leave them in the comments box. Like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, share it with your friends if you think it was useful, and yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Bye.